Hey, good afternoon everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Got a beautiful day here today. Just tons and tons of sunshine. All systems are full, ready for everyday use, and a little backup for any eventuality. It's storm season. And with those oceans warming up, we know there's going to be some hurricanes. We don't know where or when, but pretty much guaranteed there's going to be some devastating storms somewhere this season. And we want to be ready the best that we possibly can. Trying to get this little butterfly, it's pretty amazing. Won't hold still. So out here in Hawaii this time of year, we start getting public service announcements that everyone needs to be prepared to hunker down for at least 2 weeks with food and water, and hopefully your shelter survives. And we've been lucky in years past, taking a lot of near blows with those hurricanes. But anyway, living off grid here, we're always prepared as best as we can be for any eventuality that may happen. But all those that are living off grid, every time a hurricane does approach, and I'm sure it's the same on the mainland on all those coastal areas, if you wait till there's a direct line showing that it's coming your way, a lot of the things you might need to hunker down and be supplied will be gone, long gone off the shelves. So right now, before any of that happens, is a good time to get prepared. And out here, besides taking some glancing blows, we have taken some fairly direct hits in recent years. I've suffered damage out here of various kinds, trees down, some equipment destroyed, carports blowing off into a different part of the island. So it's a very real thing, and of course there are millions of you out there that are possibly going to be affected by the storm season. The warnings are already up. The oceans are quite warm right now. They're going to get warmer with these longer days. So the fuel is out there for some catastrophic storms, and you just don't want to be out there at the last minute. You know, I've watched the lines out here, plywood, 2x4 generators. They fly off the shelves. If you wait till those last couple of days, they're all going to be gone. So now is a good time to build yourself a little portable power station at the very least, and you can do it fairly affordable these days. So we'll assume that you have enough food and water to get you through a down period if your grid goes offline. But how are you going to keep your food cold? And how are you going to run maybe just some basic necessities until that grid gets back up and running? Now out here, as you guys know, I have several backup systems just for these kind of eventualities. And this is a very simple components list of a portable or permanent power station for you to get by with after the storm hits. So right there, I've just got a 100-watt solar panel right there. I've got some solar panel cables right there, and a charge controller, a battery, of course, a little breaker in there, very small inverter, and just a little bit of wire to make all of that tie together. So the solar panel, very easy. Connect the cables up to the back of the solar panel, run them to your charge controller, cut some wires at length from the charge controller to your battery. You could throw a little breaker in there in between, so you can turn the power off if you want to, coming from your solar charge controller to the battery. And a very basic little inverter. And that's it. That's a little power station right there. Now, if you had to leave your area, you could throw that in the back of your vehicle and still have some power wherever you landed. And these are just some components that I have laying around for tying up. I am going to tie up a little auxiliary charging station so I can keep some spare batteries charging like I like to do and move things around. But you can build a simple little power station like this for under 600 bucks, no problem. You know, these solar panels now, I saw them as cheap as like 70 bucks the other day. Depending what kind of battery you go with, I would recommend going with a lithium iron phosphate battery. You can get one this size now, maybe not this exact model, but you can get them at the 100 amp hour size now for just over 300 bucks, and you can charge and fully discharge those thousands of times without wearing that battery out. And then depending what kind of a load you might need in your backup situation, this is just a very simple $50 pure sine wave inverter. I've used these before. That's the little Best Tech model. It works well. Has just a 300 watt capacity with a little bit higher surge. That would actually run the refrigerator out here, no problem. And then there's just a bag of little 50 amp breakers, and then some 10 gauge wire just to connect the charge controller to the battery. So super easy. Like I said, you could have all of this just sitting in a go bag if you knew you were going to have to leave the area, or you could just, you know, have this out in the yard charging up this battery, and at least if you know a storm's coming, you've got some backup power for whatever you need. And you would just want to size your inverter to whatever you must have running. And of course, this could all be adjusted to suit your needs. If you thought you needed a couple extra panels, a larger battery, or a couple different, a couple batteries of the same size tied together, you know, adjust it to what you need. So start thinking about the storm, because it's coming to a neighborhood near us, guaranteed, this summer. So this is just what I'm going to do this weekend, is just tie up another little auxiliary charging station. But this is a fully self-contained little backup system. And there are cheaper little charge controllers out there you can get. I like these little Victrons. This is just barely over 100 bucks for one of these. And you can monitor on your phone. You can adjust it on your phone for charging parameters. If you're just sitting there charging this battery completely full every single day, you can dial it down a little bit if you want to. This is just kind of a plug and play, and very easily you go into the app on your phone and change whatever charging parameters you might want. But at the very least, I would suggest making a little backup system like this. It'll keep some things going. You can do a little food preparation with a little hot plate. There's just, you know, a multitude of things you can do with a very small system like this. And you'll feel a little bit more secure as that storm approaches, that you do have some backup. I know a lot of people on the mainland, when those storms hit, power can be out for, you know, quite some time. And at least if you have a little bit of a backup, you're going to be doing a little more comfortable waiting for that grid to come back on. And of course, you don't need any gasoline to keep that little generator of yours, solar generator, going. Just have the panels out in the sun, or a single panel, and you'll always have some backup power. And like I said, you can adjust that to your own needs, your own specifications of however you live and wherever you live. But yeah, they're predicting a very active season. So now's the time to be proactive. Yeah, hoping fair winds for all of us this season. Aloha. Yeah, that's your public service announcement for this season.